Welcome back to LJ's Comic Bro. My name is Jay. I'm the host for the show, and happy new comic book day to everybody. Hopefully by now everyone was able to thumb through their books. All the villains are doing what they're supposed to be doing. All the good guys are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And everything in between. First, let's get through a little bit of business. If you end up liking what you're watching and you're liking what you're seeing, dear God, you like the words coming out of this mouth, please like, please subscribe, please share. And the best thing about doing a show like this is I'd love to be able to hear from you. So please leave a comment. I'd love to be able to hear what you guys are reading. I love to hear about the villains that you guys enjoy, the good guys that you guys enjoy, or the crime and mysteries or murder stories or whatever the heck you guys are reading. I'd love to be able to hear about it. On that note, a little bit of sad news here over at the Burrow. Unfortunately, we had to end up helping my wife's little boy to cross over that Rainbow Bridge. He's been with us since he was basically a kid. He was about 2 weeks away from being 6 years old. I do want to say thank you to the doctors at Chadwell Animal Hospital. They did an amazing job giving my wife another 6 to 7 months to be able to spend time with him. And I also want to say thank you to the vets over at East York Vet in York for taking over from there when we brought him in to say goodbye. He was an amazing little boy. He was awesome. And as a present for my wife, I'm actually getting a commission picture done on the new X-Men blank cover. So when that book comes out, I actually have an artist already done. It's the gentleman that actually did the sign here for LJ's Comic Bro. If you guys see that back there, I'm getting that Dejan to be able to do another artwork for the comic book, and I'm actually sending it in to get graded for her, so she always has another picture of her Shadow King always with her. So yeah, so that actually happened. Other than that, I've been able to pick up here on some amazing books. This is my off week, so I did tell you I will be doing the Blood Hunt storyline. So I went and picked up my books over from Four Corners Comics. And yeah, let's get right into it. So there's actually only 3 books that I have at this very moment. So that gave me a little time, and I will get into that after I go over these books on what I actually did with that extra time to read. And yes, I did pick up my DC versus Vampires. Did go over it. Read the first 2 issues again, so we will talk about that. First, let's get into the next book that you should be reading at this point in time. I did leave you off with the other issues of the Blood Hunt. So basically what I've been doing is I'm going to be showing you what reading order that you should be reading your books in. So the next book you should be reading is Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 1. Now this is a beautiful cover. I absolutely love this cover. I was actually considering getting the second print, the bloody print for this book, but honestly, I don't have all that kind of cash to be sitting there keep blowing on reprints and stuff like that. But that book did look pretty amazing. But I did want to show this cover off. I absolutely love this story. So far, I have not been let down by anything going on with this Blood Hunt storyline. And with this issue alone, you've got an amazing team up of Amazing Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and the Lizard. And they are teaming up basically to help find Morbius. Because Morbius has been taken. No one knows where he's at. You do have a little spoiler at the end. They do show you where Morbius is actually being held up at. But this so far, I'm actually going to show you a little bit of this book because, like I said, this is probably, I absolutely love this. I love the artwork done in this book. The things that they do I mean, this is the Lizard basically getting the attention of Peter Parker. That's all he was supposed to do. And unfortunately, the Lizard, from what I found out, has been separated. So, yeah, that I did not expect that to happen. I do not know what issue that ended up happening it. So it's just the Lizard. There is no going back. There is no going back. There's no transforming. So I mean, to sit here and to read this issue and to watch the Amazing Spider-Man basically team up with the Lizard to going on an adventure is absolutely fun. I loved it. You never knew if the Lizard was going to basically turn on Spider-Man and just go full blast, but awesome issue. Loved it. So that'll be the next book that you'll be reading, followed by, I knew this was going to be good. I absolutely knew this was going to be good. I know a lot of people probably question this book, but yeah, Union Jack the Ripper is fucking awesome. I don't care. This is so good, so gory, so bloody, and basically it's Union Jack going. It's Union Jack going after just vampires and just mowing them down. I loved it. But that's not just the complete story. Union Jack's buddy has been turned into a vampire, and so he's holding him up in basically a bathtub of blood just to keep him going and keep him alive. Awesome. I love this story. Like I said, the artwork is amazing. Give you a little picture of Bulldog. I never think what I really do is showing spoilers due to the fact that I'm a little behind on my books anyway. It's not like I'm showing them off first habit. But yeah. From the Union, that is Bulldog now, after he's been transferred into a vampire. I mean, nobody is believing what the hell's going on here. So, I mean, so far, this story, like I said, has not been a letdown. I absolutely love it. So far, I couldn't be more pleased. See, by now, that X-Men story, I started questioning some things, but right there, this is awesome. Next book, and like I said, I only had 3 books to actually show you. It's Blood Hunt number 2. And that's right. The remaining members of the Avengers are battling the new foes in a great fight. Basically, they literally are just at this moment trying to survive. And while that is going on, you do have basically Hunter's Moon, you have Tigra, and you have Peter Parker showing up over at Doctor Strange's house with a little surprise at the very end. They're trying to figure out how to deal with this magically through another way, instead of just trying to fight all the vampires. And yeah, that's when that little surprise does happen. You also have, showing up at the house, Dracula, and like Blade's daughter is showing up at the house, who basically is the answer to all answers. She is, or at least that's what Dracula feels. They are the answer. I'd love to want to be able to show you some of the great artwork here from this book. Yeah. I mean, there you got Dracula. Like I said, for some odd reason, I feel like they drew Dracula like Null. Don't get me wrong. I guess there's some similarities. One's a god of one, one's a god of another. And then the remaining Avengers here trying to survive along with Dracula and Blade's daughter there. might as well just show you the very end. I absolutely, like I said, with Miles Morales saying hello at the very end, love it. So, like I said, this is definitely one of those series I absolutely have been enjoying. Love every bit of it. I haven't been sitting there going, yeah, that's just whatever. I've absolutely enjoyed each and every one of these issues so far. Things definitely can change. Don't get me wrong. One little turn that should go left, they went right, can absolutely blow this all up in their face. I mean, it is a long storyline that everybody needs to be in tune with. So just hopefully, they keep it up. Just to show you a couple more things here. This is actually Blood Hunt issue number 1, the non-red band, but this is the little shiny cover. I did want to show that off to you, especially since I had a little time. It's not. I honestly thought they should have did a few other things, but you know something, I love my shiny little books. So. And then my Gabriel Delgado cover. I'm not getting every one of these covers. I think I've talked about that in the first one, but when I saw that Black Panther, I was like, yeah, Gabriel Delgado does so much realism in his artwork and everything. It's just, I mean, so beautiful. His covers are usually pinpoint down, accurate, just beautiful art. I know every time he usually does a Batman cover, I'm always getting it because it's 10,000 times better than the covers. So that leads me to DC versus Vampires. So Krista Comic Bet challenged me to read at least the first 6 issues. And he pulled me aside. He sent me a little message, said you should at least read the first 6 issues. So that's what I did, or I should say that's what I'm doing. I took the time. I read number 1 and number 2. So this is issue number 1 that I have. That's just to show you I actually do own the books. I just had to reread them. Maybe I kept thinking maybe I missed something, and I did. I did. I was getting so many books at one time. I think I got these from the Four Corners, so I got them at a mystery box reveal. So I had so many books going through at one time, and I literally probably read them so quickly that I just didn't take time to enjoy it. Now that I have a little extra time, it made it a little easier to be able to go through it. So I did read it, and dear God, I have to admit when I'm wrong, I have to admit I'm wrong, and it definitely is a story that I needed to reread. So that being said, let's talk about this book here, and then I'll say what I have to say. This is a great story, right here. It's a great story. It's a great. So far, it's been a murder mystery on who basically is the vampire that is trying to take over everybody. I love how they made Al Jordan basically the villain to, how do I say this? It's basically he's the tool. He's not the mastermind behind everything. He's definitely, I feel like, the tool being used to start turning and start taking out the good guys. Then you see what happened to all the villains. God, it was definitely a bloody mess. Here, I definitely want to show some really cool stuff off. I know I sat here and I talked a little bit of crap about this book, and I definitely should have reread it before I opened my mouth. So I have to apologize. This is completely my fault. I love how Lex Luthor basically gave his blood hoping that he was the person to always be named to save the world, because something that was exactly what he wanted. The all in everything and out of everything. That's what he wants to always be known for. He wants to be known as, ah, the guy that everyone sits there and praises at the very end, and he does that. But so, I mean, gets to some really really cool artwork, because that's what James Tynion. He really does get great artists to be able to do his stuff. I do believe that. I also believe that. Hold on one second. Yeah, that's the villains, and I love how they do everything in red to show everything that happened. I mean, the death and the blood and the massacre that literally happened right here at the Legion of Doom in the swamp. It's like, holy shit. Okay. Yep, you got me on this story. And I'm glad I at least own I think I own the first 7, and I own the one side story with Damian Wayne. So it gives me a little bit of something to be able to at least catch up on, at least be able to tell everybody that I gave my all into the story. So not just to talk crap, but to actually give it a real chance. I love Gorilla Grodd. I love how he is a vampire. That's a badass thought. Thinking a telepathic gorilla with the strength of God knows how many men is now a vampire, and unbelievable. I love, like I said, this is a great story. All right, and I do love how the Wonder Twin was turned into a smoothie. I don't care. That's pretty cool. I grew up with the Wonder Twins. That's pretty cool. At least it wasn't the monkey. That's all I gotta say. At least it wasn't the monkey. So that was issue number 1. You basically find out Al Jordan is a vampire, and he's taking over the world for the vampires. But you still don't really figure out who the actual mastermind behind it is, and I guess that is the mystery of the story, and that's probably the great thing about James Tynion. He does a great job with it. And part 2 here. This is the cover. I got the B cover because I always thought that was better than the A cover, and I've shown this book off on my show before. So yeah, here it comes again. I did love this cover. This is the reason why I got it. And I mean, pretty much you're seeing Batman get his family together, because that's who he feels he can trust, and he's putting them through holy water, making them drink holy water, making them take baths in holy water, blessing everything that they touch, just to see if they really are vampires. To me, that's pretty cool. That's exactly what Batman would do. I love, God, there's so many things I'm actually loving about this book. So I really feel, I said some stuff that I'm actually going to have to regret taking back and saying both stories. The Blood Hunt story so far, and from what I read so far, the first 2 issues here of reading again, of the DC versus Vampires, both stories are definitely worth reading, definitely worth getting into. Great Halloween stories, if that's what you want to call them. So I'm actually surprised that Blood Hunt is coming out a little early. So I actually think the best part of the story is the killing of the Flash. I love that. Knowing as Al Jordan is looking at him going, I wanted to turn you. I wanted to take this world over with you. But I argued. I argued for you. But your craving would be so much, everything would be dead. Everything. Probably including us. We would all die to your power. So, like I said, both fun stories. I absolutely loved it. And I will continue. I will talk about this more on my off weeks of the DC versus Vampires. So Yeah, Chris, and I do have to admit, you're right. So, ta-da! Uh, when I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong, and when I'm right, dear God, I will shove it in people's faces. So, you have every opportunity to be able to do that to me at this very moment. Other than that, that is the books I got to talk about. I do want to say I hope you guys do have a great, great happy new comic book day. A little bit more business. If you like what you're watching, if you end up liking what you're seeing, dear God, if you like the words coming out of this mouth, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment. Because the best thing about doing a show like this is to be able to have that conversation with you on my channel. I love to be able to talk about the little books and stuff that you guys are actually reading. No matter if it's good, bad, ugly, whatever. I love to be able to hear about it. And please share. So, from my family to your family, if you're going to rescue, please make sure you do your research. Dear God, please do your research. I've seen way too many bad problems when people don't. They just pick it up and go, oh, this guy looks really, really cute. And they don't know how to take care of it. They don't know what it eats. They don't know where it sits, sleeps. They don't know shit about it. So please, please, please do your research. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see y'all next week.